before your break, if you recall, I said that when the 5 mental conditions are there in your mind, the mind is ready to be able to see its true nature. Yes? What is that true nature? That the mental states, your experience of the mind, is impermanent and conditional. Let me reverse that, backslide, hang on. It's impermanent and conditional. What is impermanent is dukkha. What is dukkha is non-self, right? I said this. So now I'm going to explain what they are, okay? Anicca, impermanent. I said here that it is so obvious, it is difficult to miss. What do I mean by that? If you look into your mind at any one time, right now, you look into your mind, is the current state you are experiencing the same as the one just before? 講什麼? Who says, 講什麼? Who? Meaning to say, every time you stare at your mind, it's a different mental state. Yes? And you keep flipping. If you stare very hard, you flip very fast. Yeah? And then, as you scan, you talk about scanning the brain, scanning the body. The mind just kind of flips from page to page, point to point. What it means is, at any one time, one of the 5 aggregates, what are the 5 aggregates? You have attended the class. What are the 5 aggregates? Body, feelings, perception, very good. Mental formation, in other words, thoughts, thought construction. Volitional thought construction, the 5th one, consciousness. At any one time, when you look at the mind, it's one of these guys. One of these, the form, the feeling, a perception going on, a thought happening, or just bare consciousness. At any one time, and it comes and goes. Actually, all 5 are there at any one time. They are all there, present and accounted for. But your mind is capable of registering one of the 5 only. So when you registered feeling, you will notice at the point when you stare at feeling, there is actually no thought. When you look at thought, at the point where you say, look at thought, that feeling is neutral. And because the feeling is neutral, you don't remember the feeling. You would thought it is a thought. Then you say, but I got painful thoughts. Actually, that tells you the feeling, the perception, the thought, they are all there. And sometimes you feel it as a step in the heart, the heart also there. Thought. You know what I'm saying? Actually, all 5 are present at any one time, but you are aware only of one of them, the most prominent one. And when you are aware of the most prominent one, your mind, the volitional thought, that Shankara, happily takes over and run. When he runs, everybody chase. Gone is your mindfulness. Okay? And if you just look at your mind, right now, you already see it has changed. Isn't it impermanent? Isn't it impermanent? Must see in meditation, then see. You just have to sit there and it's changing relentlessly all the time. And for each one that you pay attention to, right? For each one of them, didn't it sit on a previous experience? Previous experience? Meaning it sits on something and then the next one comes along. Sits on the something and something else comes along. It's conditional. This is the most obvious. Okay? Then you say, okay, got it, next. No, no, no. You must understand this. It is a fundamental principle of your mind. If you tell me you have seen it in meditation and you've seen it in daily life, if you tell me you have seen it, then why are you still getting caught up in your anger? Why? Because if you have seen change and you internalize the mind as always changing, what is there to hold on to? It will change. You say, I hold on to the I. Very gao. Where's the I? Which is the I? Feeling is the I? Mind, the mind is made up of feeling, perception, thought formation, consciousness. Consciousness is the I? No, a bit more. Feeling is the I? Well, maybe, don't know. And then you go on and on looking for the I. Things that keeps changing has no essence, in other words. Now, change is unsettling. Change is unsettling. Some people will say, no, I like change. Change brings hope. You are still looking for happiness. You are still looking for the rainbow there. And so, change, because you are eternal optimist, the rainbow is there. And change means it takes you closer to whatever you are seeking. Assuming hypothetically you got the rainbow, you sit on the thing you really want. You want it to change? You marry the man you love, you want it to change? You don't want him to die? Not possible. Change by its very nature is unsettling. That is why the Buddha didn't teach anicca, dukkha, anatta. The Buddha taught anicca in what is anicca is dukkha, in what is dukkha is anatta. You have to understand it's linked like this. Change is unsettling. You don't like change. Disturbing. Change in itself is dukkha. Get it? Then for those who say, I like change, change brings me better, I've already pointed out to you. That's because you're seeking for happiness. And when you find it, you don't want happiness to change. What? Bokao. Want to change husband, change wife. You found your perfect spouse, want to change. Don't want. You found your perfect kid, want to change. Take back, I don't want. Can you give me another one, better one? No. You are only looking for the best. That which brings you perfect peace. Then when you hit perfect peace, I'm done changing. Don't change, don't change anymore. Boo, change. Because it will never stop. Because the mind doesn't pause. Your video does, but not the mind. Even your memory doesn't pause. As soon as you remember something, it's the next one. Right? Try stopping your memory. You can't. That's the very nature of our mind. And the Buddha says, see that as it is. See the nature of your mind as it is. See how it keeps flipping, flopping, changing. On and on and on. And as it flips, flops, and changes, see that in that change, there is nothing worth holding on to, because whatever you hold will dissipate. Like grabbing water. Worse, grabbing air. Okay, grab air, come. Not possible. And in what is dukkha, that's anatta. Now, anatta is much harder to see. You will see it eventually when you do your meditation correctly, properly. I guarantee you will see anatta. But from the start point, right now, all of us sitting down here, now see, anatta is what? Anatta is what? Right now, at this point of your practice, at this point of our career, we have to do what is called proactive, actually deprogramming. Proactive deprogramming. What do I mean? You see, instinctively, we all assume there is an I, right? There is a soul. I believe in a soul. You will say, but Buddha said no soul. If I have faith in Buddha, I must believe there's no soul. How? Get it? So you have to deprogram your mind, deprogram the mind to start saying to yourself, there is no mind, there is no I, there is no self. You have to keep telling yourself that. To do that, why? If it's for real, why do you have to do that? You also believe in permanence, what? You also believe that sukha is your entitlement, what? But you know for your by now, sitting right here, I can feel that you're beginning to grudgingly accept anicca dukkha, correct. But anatta is hard because you can't see it. It's not obvious to you, right? And because it's not obvious to you and you can't see it, actually what the Buddha taught the monk to do, he taught the monk to do active deprogramming. Why do I say that? What did he tell Ananda, his son, Rahula? He told his son Rahula, in everything that you see, hear, touch, taste, in everything that you experience, say, this is not mine. This I am not. This is not my utter self, soul. Okay? What was he asking Rahula to do? Deprogramming. Because you have to overcome your OS. Remember the laptop? I didn't tell you the story of the laptop, right? Yeah? I did. Your laptop has a program in it. It got hit by virus. Where's the virus coming from? From your conditioning in daily life. Friends that tell you must fight for your right. Your right, you must fight for it. Fight is the right thing to do. You know, when you're asked to fight and all those things, those are virus, Trojan horse. Trojan horse, right? Don't laugh like that, lah. I think I say wrongly. Still laugh and they're so happy, this class. So, you see, when you have all these wrong malware, they messed up your mind. So you have to do rebooting. Cut out everything. Get rid of the OS, right? Get rid of the OS. Put a new one, brand new. And this teaching, the Dhamma, part of the Dhamma is deprogramming. Changing the OS. And this is the hard one to change. But luckily for all of us, this one for Arahant. Just let you know, it's for Arahant, okay? So, people in the practice, once they have entered the stream and so on, they have to keep doing this. Not I, not mine, not self. No self, no self, no I, no mine. It goes on and on and on. Until the mind shifts. When the mind shifts, it means it drops the old habits. It drops the whole habits, okay? One last point to make about anatta, this thing about may conceptually understand mental, physical ecosystem. Does this line make sense to you? No. You see, now I'm going to help you conceptually understand. How many of you know that there is a stomach within your system? I like you guys already. Circulatory system. What else you have? Respiratory system. What are they called? They are called system. Did you have anything to do with the system? Did you? Now you breathe, now you go in, now you go down. Did you have anything to do with all the system that's working in there? Nothing. It does what it has to do by themselves. So there's an ecosystem in there. This is the physical ecosystem. It does all its work by itself. You have nothing to do. Can you tell yourself, don't grow fat, don't grow fat, don't grow fat? Fight against your genetic code. Don't go fat. Stop eating, boo. You can't, right? There's a genetic code, right? You had nothing to do with the coding, right? Your mother's fault. Or father's fault too. The point is that there is a system that has nothing to do with your willpower. It does its own meriting. That's the physical form. I know. I talk about physical form, everybody understand. Ecosystem, got it. Anatta, right? Can you say, do this, do that? No, it does its own meriting. What food you enter here will eventually land here or get out. It's a normal process. Just like that. You have no selection right. You don't say, hey, the shark's fin stay there, and all this fat thing, I'll go down. You don't do that, right? You can't. You have no say. What goes in, the body takes over. Hello. Then they do whatever they have to do, right? Okay, now mental. This is the physical ecosystem. What's mental? You think you have every control over the mind, right? I ask you don't lose temper, why you lose temper? I ask you don't be prejudiced, why you prejudice? I ask you to watch the mind, why you don't watch? But I can't watch. For the ones who try to do meditation, try so hard, stare, then the mind drift by itself. You will, right? You will so hard, you try so hard, you did all the things that they say must do, and still the mind drifts by itself, does its own merry thing. Then you scold yourself. Because as long as you keep saying it's my fault, I should have better control over the mind. It's my fault, I scold people, I should have better control. It's conditioned. A lot of things happen in the brain. Today, with the MRI machinery, they are able to tell. There's a lot of things happening in the brain. And you are the part that realize the consequence of the machinery in there. Things are happening in there, it coughs out an output, you react. So therefore, there's a mental ecosystem going on there. And you are aware of only the tip of the iceberg. And then you decide you control the iceberg. Therefore, it's your fault that Titanic sunk. See what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're not at fault lah. I'm not saying you're completely free of fault. Okay? You can still choose to react or not. You have that choice. Your final choice is I scold or I hold back. It's much harder to not let the anger come out. But you can still choose. Say or not, say or not, say lah, say then die, never mind. Say then die, that's what will happen. Because once you say, it will sear into a habit. The neural pathway is born. Get it? Now you understand the Buddha's point, right? That's important. So there is a physical ecosystem, there is a mental ecosystem. All these are going on. Now you conceptually understand, right? That is anatta. One version of it. But it's the correct version of anatta. There's more to that. Okay? Okay. When you see the mind's nature in a literal manner, literal. What does the word literal mean? It's not some imageries, figurative. It is, when I say see anicca, you register change. You register, you see for yourself how mental states keeps changing. When you see dukkha, you understand this is when the mind feels unpleasantness. It feels unpleasantness because you experience and you know. So see the mind's nature in a literal way, one or all of the above characteristics, and you correctly correlate your observations to the Dhamma concepts that you have been taught tonight. I added tonight lah. Because yesterday what you forgot already ma. When you see anicca, dukkha, anatta, and you correlate it to all the concepts that you have learned, that becomes a moment of awakening for you. Now, then you wait for the enlightenment moment. You haven't seen ma, you only heard. So right at this point, you are at the part that says Dhamma concept. Right now, what you have accumulated for yourself is Dhamma concepts. Okay? Then you go for meditation, you do the necessary to generate the 5 mental conditions, and when you generate the 5 mental conditions, then put the mind to look at the mind. Pay your attention, put your attention to looking at the nature of the mind. That's when you look for anicca, dukkha, anatta. Right now, you're trying to figure out, it's still thought-based. This is not what we mean, what I meant when I said correlating what you have been taught with what you are seeing in there, okay? When you actually see it and you correlate, okay, when you correlate, and it's a moment of awakening for you, a realization for you, at that moment, moha arises. Delusion lives. Sorry, not arises, lives. Moha. Let me just explain the word moha. We all, at any one time, live in a state, our mental state. At any one time, our mental state is shrouded in moha, delusion. Why do I say that? Because you look at your own mind. Always go back to the mind. At any time, one time when you look at the mind, what is that mind doing? Looking. The mind is seeking. The mind is bored. The mind doesn't feel great. The mind does things, does its own merry thing. Why does it do its own merry thing? It's looking for delight. You look at your mind at any one time, doesn't matter young or old, male or female, whatever religious groups, whatever nationality, it doesn't matter. As long as you're human, that's what's going to happen. At any one time when you look at the mind, it's bouncing, it's seeking. It wants to do something, it wants to plan something, it wants to go somewhere, it wants to be someone, it's trying to do something. As long as that's what it is doing, as long as the mind is bouncing and wanting to do, wanting to do, it's programmed, it's running by its own program. And that program to go looking, seeking, hunting, whatever, that programming is moha. Because if you take out that program, you change the program and it doesn't seek, it stops. It will only stop when it realizes the needlessness, the uselessness of seeking. What is it seeking? Pleasure, delight. It's seeking pleasure and delight. Why are you seeking pleasure and delight? Because you believe delight will bring more delight, will give you permanent happiness. Isn't that a delusion? Do you see that? You are beginning to get it, but you can't quite pin it down. Am I right? You're beginning to understand moha, but you're not sure because you're new to this. You're new to what I'm saying. So because you're new to it, I say, trying very hard, and you hear and listen, trying very hard, and both of us trying very hard, and something will happen now. You'll get something lah. But then you say, but I have to go and memorize again. Meaning it's not quite there. It hasn't sunk in. It will sink in. It will sink in at the end of the lecture. I guarantee. Because there are some things to do. Okay? So, moha is when the mind is still shrouded in its own operating system with its own assumptions, its own belief, its own understanding, its own thinking. You are all. Okay? When moha lifts, everything's brand new. Your values change, your thinking change, your seeing change, your understanding change, your assumptions change. That's what's happened. So as long as you're still operating on the old system, moha. Okay? I'm not scolding you. It's just like that. Now, when the moha lifts and you see the mind clearly, and you realize the mind clearly, that realization and that internalization of the new knowledge is temporary. The relief, the joy, the bliss, the Dhamma joy you feel, temporary. It's magnificent when it happens, but it's only temporary. The effects are temporary. Why? Because your old habits will come back. Your old habits will all come back. Someone says something you don't like, boom! Say me, you will say. It's just like that, it's just habit, okay? And only when you're seeing and understanding, only when the seeing and understanding is penetrative enough, only then will you enter the stream and become a Sotapanna. What does it mean? Wait, the word is stream, right? Buddha always say enter the stream. As opposed to A. Flood. Sorry, A for if you get the right answer. Not the word I'm looking for starts with letter A. Enter the stream as opposed to us living in the flood. An analogy that the Buddha used. The analogy that the Buddha used to describe someone who realized the Dhamma for the first time, that penetrative insight, realizing the Dhamma, he used the word entering the stream. The rest of the world lives in an ocean, a flood. Flood. Why flood? Because we are constantly bombarded by arising cravings and desires in relation to the world inside and the world outside, the inner world and the external world, all the attractions around us. You are constantly battling. If you are not sure, if you don't believe, you just stare at your mind. It goes in, talk, comes out, talk, in, out. It keeps doing that, bouncing around all over the place. If you say, I don't see it, because you're used to the bouncing. After a while, it doesn't bother you anymore. It's just like that. But if it bounces more, that's where you go into depression. Okay? So, what happened when the person enters the stream? You no longer believe that there is an I essence, an inner entity called soul. It's kaya ditti. You break a certain habit, delusion of the belief in the I essence. Ditti is a view. Sakaya is I essence. There is an I in this essence. There is an I essence in this Namarupa, this mind and body. When you realize that the mind, its experience, the mind keeps flipping, your experience keep flipping. When you realize that, and you realize that in all this flipping, it's really dukkha. When you realize all these things in such a penetrative way, mind-made are things, and so on and so forth, the whole Dhamma, it comes together, and the first thing it cracks is, one of the things that it cracks, three things. One of the things it cracks is Sakaya Ditti. The mind no longer believes that there is an I essence in this mind and body. The second fetter that it breaks is doubt. You are now sure of the Dhamma, of the path, because you have seen for yourself how the mind works, how the mind keeps changing, how the mind feels peace when it does not chase and want. Okay? And you know now that it is about cleansing the mind and not following a set of pattern or formula of external purification. You know how many people go around asking, am I bowing correctly? Should I follow all these steps? Should I do all these things, right? Huh? No, you never done that? It's very common for people to be wondering, how should you address the Buddha? Do I offend him if I bow wrongly? That kind of rites and rituals. And then you go for blessings, blessings, the blessings, and you do a lot of things. It's very common for us, not understanding how the mind works, will believe there is a way of fixing the mind's problem. Because we don't say it as a mind's problem, we say it is bad luck. Conditions of the world, bad luck. We say things like that. And because it's bad luck, condition of the world, we are not able to handle this, let's go ask for divine help. So you go for purification, you seek all kinds of measures to improve your luck. We do things like that. But it's actually your mind, not your luck. Luck, that's just conditions, things happen out there. If you have no craving, no wanting, no chasing, you don't mind anything, whatever happens, you just deal. Whatever happens, you just deal. You don't have to worry that it must be the best condition. Best also like that. Best also will dissipate. You will expect whatever good, bad will come next. Not necessarily bad, but it won't stay. It won't last. Things don't last. They will just come and go, come and go. And if you see how your mind accepts come and go, and it doesn't ask for any more, then the mind's at peace. You see what I'm saying? So, when the mind understands how it works, it will have full confidence. Having full confidence, enter the stream. Okay? When that happens, your faith will explode. This is the belief in the triple gem, unshakable. In your mind, you know the Buddha was right. The Dhamma, what is the Dhamma? It's a map to fix the mind. It tells you how to get it right. And you now know the Dhamma works because your mind is at peace. Temporary doesn't matter, but it feels that it is in control. It knows how to fix its problem. It knows alternative medicine. Get it? The Dhamma medicine. Dhamma is correct, it's true, and it works. Dhamma, by now, is no longer a book of rules and regulations and merits and demerits and things to do per se, just because Buddha says so. It's knowing how to fix mind. In other words, you become a mechanic of the mind or doctor of the mind, give you a bit of elevated status, since that's still important. So you now call yourself doctor of the mind. You can fix it. When you feel down, it's okay. I know what to do. Get it? And Sangha are the ones who understood. They got it. They've seen the mind. They've understood the Dhamma. And they had achieved some relief from the dukkha. Understand. Why do I say this? Go back to, you remember your own triple gem chanting? Homage to the triple gem. What does it say? Supatipano, Bhagavato, Sāvaka Sangho. You all know this. What's Supatipano? Upright conduct. Practicing well, practicing correctly, practicing with understanding, knowledge and all. The emphasis in the chant is about practice and understanding. Isn't it? And then what else did it say? Yadidan chattari purisa yugani atta purisa pukkala. 4 pairs of individuals. 8 people. 8 people. What are these 8 people? Sotapanna, Maggapala, Sakadagami, Maggapala, Anagami, Maggapala, Arahata, Maggapala. 4 pairs. Now use all the Pali word. Stream enterer, once returner, never returner, Arahant. Because earlier on I said Arahata. Pali is actually Arahata. Okay? Okay. This is when the faith becomes unshakable, yawa nibbana, until you end the game. Originally, the plan was to stop here, take a break, so you can come back for more. You know what? I think I need the break. Can we just take 5? That's what 5, huh? You need to go, you go quickly and come back.